Welcome back
We don't take orders from you.
to a special episode of Camp Oddwood. It's Mother's Day. Mazel tov. Cheers. We're having whiskey shots to all the moms out there.
To all the single fathers.
I'm not reaching. It's too
Yeah,
far.
me neither.
Cheers.
To all the
Cheers.
double moms. To all the double dads.
Binary, non-binary parents. Gulp, gulp.
And RIP to all the moms that have passed. I'm going to spill one out on your carpet for that.
R.I.P.
And all the grandmas too. No, don't. That's how you make Zach move lightning fast.
Zach starts sucking the whiskey out of the carpet.
Hey man, anything
Along
for
with
my
some
friends.
Kappas.
Anything for my friends.
Maybe go down memory lane a little bit.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Remembering.
You got... Sorry, you paused for a minute there, and I was like, oh, God.
What?
Just because it's Mama's Day, you know, I just thought we could go down memory lane. Like, what?
You had us at the first half.
So yeah, I figured we could recount like crazy parental instances.
Okay.
So, here's a problem. Well, none of us were in organized sports really.
Yeah, it was.
I was.
Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? Sorry. Fucking Henry.
I was never,
He
yeah.
did
I
super
was.
volleyball
Yeah, and you did.
I did
a lot
football,
of
too.
cheerleading.
And soccer.
And
Oh,
soccer.
shit.
Yeah.
And softball.
And softball.
I was really bad at softball.
I guess.
Not good.
And organized crime.
I guess you weren't.
I was
okay.
in nothing.
We dealt weed.
Did you ever
I didn't deal weed.
No, I'm just kidding.
just like falsely incriminate yourself?
No, I didn't. For the record,
We
never.
were slinging.
So,
Now
we
it's
were
legal,
friends that-
but yes, now I am.
did you ever have a instance where during like a game or something, like something shitty happened, and then your parents like went heavy crazy on the ref, or like
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like before the actual season started, but we'd always have scrimmage games. And you're supposed to have like one scrimmage game with half the teams in the league that you're in before the actual season starts. And we had a game with the Knights. And we were the South Valley Panthers. So it was Panthers versus Knights. It's a Sunday. Parents are there. It's a scrimmage game. Of course, you know, parents are drinking. Long story short, we ended up winning, but my parents, they're good cheerers. If you guys went to any of my volleyball games, especially during like that one playoff game, like my mom will start cheering and get the whole crowd kind of like going. And there was another mom on the opposite team that was like cheering pretty hard for their team. And then it just turned into one of those things where like, it's funny because it turns a sports rivalry into a parents rivalry. I don't know if it's like, I love my kids more or something, or what the fuck happened exactly. They started getting into a shouting match after the game. Then I remember my dad showed up late. He's probably, you know, having beers already too. And the lady's husband comes up. It turned into a point where like all the parents from each team were like getting in each other's faces and stuff.
oh shit.
My mom and I got into the car. My dad finally jumped into the car after like almost like coming like this close to like, you know, like throwing down with the dude's dad, like with the lady's husband. And yeah. And like we're trying to like pull away, and our car kind of like got surrounded by like, you know, parents and shit. And then I don't know if it was a parent from the other team or like an assistant coach tried to like start reaching into the car to like take the keys out of the ignition type of thing.
Oh shit.
And then I forget, I think his name was Tony. I only remember his first name. He was one of our assistant coaches. He had like long dreadlocks. I remember he was like the cool coach. And I remember he got that dude in a headlock. And then like we just drove away and we don't know what happened after that. Like I think like things like got broken up and things started calming down.
So one of the husband tried to reach into your parents' car to grab the keys.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Wait, you had a assistant coach named Tony with dreadlocks?
Mm-hmm.
He's like light skinned black guy?
Yeah.
And he's like pretty fit?
Yeah, he was fit.
Do you by chance know if he had a stepchild or was married?
I don't know, but I'm sure it was probably the same dude, honestly, because I remember he was just like all with like he was like coaching. He's like a coach. Like he liked coaching kids and.
But would he wear like sometimes wear a bandana?
Either a bandana and like once in a while, I think he would wear like a visor.
Oh shit! I think that might have been. So I had a friend named Zach. Another friend named Zach who's half white, half black.
Oh fuck.
Did he play football?
I think he probably.
I think
he did
I
end up
remember
playing.
him then. Yeah, I think he was on my
shit.
team.
Damn. Yeah.
And it was cool
Wow.
because like half the people that I played football
Small
with
world.
in middle school ended up playing at Birmingham. So I thought that was like really cool. And
He actually they for a little bit they lived in one of those apartments, the really Asian looking one, right behind your house.
oh, dope. Yeah, the one with like the nice like koi pond.
Yeah.
like, at the entrance.
Yeah, so they used to live there.
Oh, dope.
And so I because I used to be friends with him in elementary school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Zach was the stepchild.
He was Tony's stepkid.
Oh, okay.
But he was still, I guess his mom likes black guys. I don't know, because she was white and he was half black. Zach was half black.
That makes sense. That's pretty normal. That's pretty
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah, so that was like one of my crazy. Yeah, I think that was like definitely the craziest instance of like parents getting involved and like almost fighting and shit. Kind of fighting. Laws were definitely broken. Looking back at it as an adult, like there was like multiple instances where people were like touching each other and like yelling in each other's faces and threatening each other.
Oh shit.
So yeah, that was pretty gnarly. That was cool that Tony.
Damn, I mean, it makes sense. 'Cause the Valley's a small place, and he lived right fucking next to you. So,
Well, shit, one of the kids on the team ended up playing for. I don't think he plays for the Broncos anymore, but he played for the Broncos when they won the Super Bowl.
oh yeah, I remember.
One of the guys I played with.
I remember hearing about him, like that Birmingham had like a NFL hopeful.
Well, we had like quite a few. Like,
Oh, you
just
had a few?
Just
Yeah.
that year, like our year, I played with like a lot of the starters in my Pop Warner days, and I don't know. Our whole starting lineup was just insanely good.
Who's one of the running backs? Reggie something. I forget his last name, but he was like the number one
In state.
NFL hopeful. I don't know how well he did in college, but he was like, he ran so many yards and made so many touchdowns that he was like regarded as a football legend in our school.
Shit.
Yeah. We had like some crazy records broken. Like my buddy Richard Galindo. Shout out Richard if you listen to us. Probably not. You're a dad and you have many kids and you probably don't have the time. But anyway, he broke I think a city or a state record or something. He broke a lot of records because they would call him the boot. He was the kicker on the football team.
Oh shit.
And he had one of those old school like boots where it looked like there's a brick on the end of it and you'd kick it straight on instead of the side of your foot. I forget. He kicked I think it was like a 70-yard field goal.
Shit.
Something crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, he broke a lot of records with that kick. But that's what I'm saying. Like even our kicker was insane, and like we broke a lot of like records. And the only reason we didn't go to state was because we lost to Cal Poly in like Cal
won
Poly
state
Long
like
Beach.
2-3 years out of the 4 years we were there, didn't we?
I honestly I can't remember. That was over 12 years ago now or some shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Your age is showing.
we beat Notre Dame, which we weren't supposed to beat, but
No, Elizabeth.
Notre Dame beat
Crush.
Cal Poly, and we lost to Cal Poly.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like with all the games and the stats, like it weighed more that Cal Poly beat us, so they ended up going to state instead of us.
Yeah.
Wow,
Elizabeth said Notre Dame's football team was terrible.
I think
They're-
after that year or something.
They're really good at I remember hearing like some years that they were really good, but I think after a certain year, they might have started to go downhill. I think, but because Notre
cares?
Dame's football team, they have so much money. I mean, they must be doing well enough to where they just put a bunch of money into their fucking football field recently because their shit,
They just built a parking structure.
Yeah, they
for their
built a bunch
team.
of shit. Yeah.
I don't
You
know how
didn't
much
really
tuition
play-
is, like 20,000 a semester or some shit. I don't know. Getting that from every kid, you
Yeah.
can afford anything.
Yeah, I mean, how are those kids supposed to afford the coke
Cocaine.
and Molly?
Yeah.
But I don't
That's why
know.
they're so good at football.
You didn't really do any sports, right? So you didn't really.
No.
For me,
My dad was a single dad, and
You should have done sports though, because like I remember it
he didn't really push me to do any of that kind of stuff.
in like high school PE. You know when like you first start out before you're on any teams or anything. I remember he was part of like the football one, and I was just like sitting down like after I ran, and then I saw it was you and another kid who were playing touch football, but all you guys would do would just keep running, and as soon as anyone got close to you, you threw the ball up in the air like really far, and you just ran to where the ball was gonna land and caught it again, and just kept running.
It's not necessarily legal, but I did do that.
I remember that. You did do that.
I did. And I remember
Remember you were
playing
really
football
fast.
in PE, and I didn't really give a fuck about how big you were. I just knew to go for the legs.
you should have been on the wrestling team.
I should have been.
You would have been really good. You want to know why?
Why?
He would have had a really good record because there wouldn't have been a lot of people for you to wrestle.
To wrestle.
So every meet is like, oh, you
I win.
you get a victory by default.
Yeah, but
Not really. With
That's
his
not,
size, he'd be ending up like wrestling Henry Cejudo and shit.
but
Henry Cejudo is probably meteor. Like in high school, what did you weigh? Like 95 pounds? No,
I was like 110, 115.
The disrespect.
really?
Yeah, I've been 120 for a long time, dude.
Oh,
Like,
so you just kept your high school body. That's the thing.
well, not anymore. 129, 130.
Oh my god, the fat fuck.
I'm happy about it.
No, it's good.
I like my weight gain, bitch.
Yeah, we're happy you're eating food. But
I know. Before I would ask Zach, oh, you're eating? And he's like, yeah, I'm just having ramen. And then that would be the meal of the day.
when
And
we
I'm like,
lived together, he
"That
was
is not
gaunt,
healthy."
I was gone. I was stressed the fuck out.
and
Dude,
we would try to
you were
feed you.
wispy.
Yeah.
we would
I
try to
remember,
feed you.
and I was like, I'd come down to visit, or
Yeah.
come up to visit, and then it'd be like, Zach, are you hungry? Let's get something to eat. And you're like, okay, I guess so. But I got these cigarettes. Like you'd live off the coffee and cigarettes, and I was just like, that's not good, Zach.
Yeah, no, I was.
Yeah, no,
Then
your
you'd save
your
it for,
breath
like,
smells
special
way
occasions.
better now.
Fucker.
Your teeth are
funny.
whiter.
Yeah,
That's funny.
well, cause you used to have really strong coffee cigarette breath.
Yeah.
you smelled like a Frenchman, but
I was almost a Frenchman.
I
No food for me.
smell
not
like
even the croissant.
an onion in the ashtray.
I get all my calories from coffee.
Yeah,
That's pretty low.
extra cream, extra cream, please.
Somebody say,
How many calories is that? Like 10, 15?
Yeah.
But
Most calories might be in the milk if you put any in it. Like maybe
I did half and half, so
you
That's where I
might
get
have
most.
had 100 calories, if that, for a cup
that's
of coffee.
that's pretty good for
well, no.
San Francisco Zach.
He smoked cigarettes, and each cigarette actually burns about 100 calories.
oh shit,
I don't know.
Is
if
that
that's
real?
tr- I don't know.
I
if
have
that-
no
that's
clue.
not true.
Don't listen to me.
what the fuck?
don't
I wear
understand
glasses,
how.
but I'm not smart. I
I
just have shitty eyes.
how many times do I have to tell you? I don't know how to read.
I have pink eye.
But for me, I did some organized sports. I played basketball for a while growing up, and my dad coached 75% of my teams. It And I do remember, so my dad, large black gentleman, when I was in the Asian Community Center League and the Van Nuys Sherman Oaks leagues, he was able to use the intimidating nature of his blackness to get the other coaches
actually,
not to or to kind of back down a little bit. But like, so I remember we played it. So we were the Utah Jazz the Jazz was my team, and there's another team that shared the court that we trained on or that we practiced on. That was the Spurs, and they had
The Spurs, like the
San Antonio.
Yeah, like San Antonio Spurs. Because all the teams that we had were named. Well, most of the teams that we had were named after like the actual NBA teams. But then we had, I think, 6 extra teams, and then they just got weird random names. So we had like the Panthers and the not the Panthers, the Tigers, or some shit like something.
I think it's funny that, like, when you're crossing sports, just certain names and team mascots are taboo. But if you change to other ones, it's like perfectly normal. Like, you could have the Magic as a basketball team, and it's okay. You can't have a Magic football team.
Oh, you can't. You can't.
The Wizards.
The Wizards.
You could have the Wizards basketball team
as a football team.
The
for
Wizards
whatever reason.
Baseball team, maybe baseball. Soccer. Football, definitely not. But anyway, back to your team and your dad.
So, so there was this. So the Spurs team had, kind of like a Cajun type dad. Like the very thick pink white dad
From the South.
I think he was Southern because I think that my dad and him bonded off of some Southern sensibility.
Well, you said Cajun, so like
Well, I say Cajun because he was just really pink.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So like that strong tan with the pinkness. Yeah. But I remember I think he had glasses, and I remember his kid was the star of his team because that's all he really cared about. But he was the type of dude who jowly and like when he would get mad, he would go, that kind of. You get mad like
from the South. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, get the water.
Kind of like the King of the Gungans.
To know what that is
From Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh,
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar
the
Binks'
Gungans.
boss.
All right. So, I remember we did a scrimmage match, and then that guy, he was one of those guys who calls every foul on the other team. He's like, that kid's getting too close. That's a foul or whatever.
That's a foul.
So my dad at one point was like, had to get on him and just like, if you're going to call everything, then, you guys could just play on your own over here. We'll play on our side. Like, I'm not going to continue this scrimmage match and fucking calling every fucking foul. And then he's like, what? I'm just trying to protect my kids. My team. And my dad, okay, fine. This is how you want to play it. Foul. That was a foul. No, that wasn't a foul. Looked like a foul to me. You said this, and then so they're going back and forth. This is bullshit. And then it seemed like it was getting really heated. But then the next time we had practice, they both seemed okay or whatever, and I was like, I thought that guy was a kind of asshole. But then that guy's kid was like he was like a prima donna little bitch. Because I remember I was in the getting water at the water fountain before practice, and then he was like, "You're taking too long. It's my turn." And I was like, "What the fuck? I'm just trying to get water. I've been here for 3 seconds." And then he's like, "Come on, hurry up." And I was like, "Oh." And then my friend AJ, he was our center. He was really tall, dopey kid.
Mm-hmm.
He just starts bumping him. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's just not saying anything. He's like, "What the fuck?" Oh, and then at that time we were kind of young, so it was like, ooh. He's cussing. And he's like, oh, and then he left because I guess this kid David, who was the other kid who was the other really small kid who was in my on my team. He was the only other kid that was smaller than me. It was like this little tiny ginger. He's like, I'm gonna tell your dad, and I guess this kid's like afraid of his fucking dad, and then so he's like, and then he like ran to the bathroom.
Oh shit!
Or whatever.
He probably drank water out of the toilet.
But and then when my dad was coaching our Japanese team or whatever, he ended up coaching our team because the previous coach was cheating with one of the mothers
Oh fuck!
of one of the other kids on the team.
Adultery.
Yeah. So then my dad ended up becoming the coach. Well, because they're like, oh, we don't have a coach. Who's gonna coach? They're not gonna. The kids aren't gonna be able to play. We don't
Jim's
have a coach.
fucking Katie.
And then all these Asian parents are just like, to my dad,
Chipu?
and then, have you played? And then I remember one of the dads was like, have you played basketball before, right? And he's like,
You're a tall black man.
I mean, yeah, I've played. I play. And he's like, you could coach, right? You could coach. Oh my god. Yeah, sure. I'll fucking coach.
Fine, fuck.
Your dad annoyed with the responsibility?
I would.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really want to do it, but then every time, like, he was always very reluctant right before because he was always backed in a corner to have to do it. He never volunteered because
dad
he
loved
wanted
it.
to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then when he was doing it, he was really good. Like, every team that he coached, the team placed at least in the top 3. And then especially after, like, the team before, or whichever coach that we had before, because it was the same exact team. We got in like 8th or 10th place the previous year. It was all the same kids the next year that my dad coached, and we got 2nd place in the whole out of everybody. We beat all those fucking.
I'm sure your dad was all like looking at the other kids and just like, oh, that kid's a little bitch. Hey, trip that kid real fast. And then like the rest of their offense just like goes down because he has like a crying fit after like in the first quarter. He's like, all right, that's the game. Well, you guys are just
Well, for some reason, like, I guess the other guy just didn't do this, but my dad just really aggressively implemented man-to-man defense. So we were a really strong defensive team. And then he was just like, he straight up was just like, yo, these are our 3 best scorers, just pass it to them. Instead of like, let everybody take a shot. Like if you're there and you can't get it out to them, take the shot. But give it to these 3 kids.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing pretty well because he just was.
Strategy, man.
Yeah.
That's how sports work.
kids don't know how to handle defense either.
Yeah. Well, that was my thing. Is like, I would just hustle really hard. And I remember one time my dad got so pissed at me because I was having a fucking ADD moment, and the whole game, I remember vividly. Like I remember we were playing, and in the middle of the game, I just was like not even into it anymore. I guess because the other kid, Ken, who had the same Japanese name as me, Ken-chan, he was kind of a dope, and he had just scored for the other team.
Oh, he threw it in the wrong basket.
Yeah. And then we were like, oh no. And then I guess that just triggered me where I was like, oh, it's fuck this.
This is stupid.
So I remember I was like running up and down the court, just like trying to swing my head as hard as I can to make myself dizzy. So I was just like,
You're just
and then my
saw
dad,
my kid doing that, I'd be like, oh, that's my son. Oh,
and
God.
my dad is like, Alex, get your head in the game. And I was like,
I'm dizzy. I'm fucking dizzy.
yeah, I was like, oh fuck it, oh fuck defense. So, yeah, I mean, my mom didn't really do much except give me a Capri Sun after. But
Well, you gotta stay hydrated and sugared up as a kid.
That song by somebody that I used to know.
Yeah.
It's
Godier?
such a good song. Like
it is. They just overplayed it so much.
But if you hear it now, like, and it's been a while since I heard it on the radio so frequently, it's still like the lyrics are good.
he was a
It was
one-hit
like
wonder.
Yeah, I was gonna say. he
Still
was
a banger.
one-hit wonder.
It is a banger.
What
I remember
are?
I saw him that year live.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Gaudier? What are other
There he is. That's his
recent
name.
one-hit wonders that you could think of?
I can't think of anything.
Body yada 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 yada. Is that too soon? Too soon to call that?
What?
Body yada yada yada.
Isn't
yada,
isn't that Meg Thee Stallion?
Mm-hmm.
She has two, 3 other songs.
On the same album?
No, like that are popular.
Oh, never mind. I don't know anything about.
She
music
did that
nowadays.
song with. Didn't she do WAP
She
with
did,
Cardi B?
right? Was that her?
Yeah, collabs don't count though.
I think.
What?
I think they do.
Do they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but she didn't. That was not her song.
It's her.
Well, yeah, but if Gaudier plays with other people and has like another song, well, I guess then, yeah, never mind. He wouldn't be
What
a
was
one-hit
that?
wonder then anymore.
The band,
What?
that band with the really blonde guy, and it was like,
Super Blonde.
he was very quirky.
Black Bear?
It was like Fun. The band was FUN.
Oh yeah, Fun.
Yeah.
What about
What
it?
was that? That's a one-hit wonder, isn't it?
No, Fun was like one of those anthem bands for a while. They had a bunch of huge songs. They had a lot. Of
Really?
big ass songs.
I only remember the one.
don't even remember what you're
Some
talking about.
nights away go.
But the one is the most popular, that one.
The one that I just sang?
Yeah. No, it's not that one. It's the other one.
Well, the one I just sang is incredibly popular too. So then that's 2 in the bag already.
Okay.
Well, there's also there's bands that have had like almost one-hit wonders, but then if like you listen to that album, you're like, oh, actually no, like there's like 3 or 4 songs on this album that like actually kind of made it pretty big, like Junior Senior.
I don't know who that is.
Well, what about Semisonics?
Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon had 3 hits. Though.
They're big.
Exactly, it was
a
like
lot
the
of
same
people
album.
really like them.
They haven't made anything in like 10, 11 years.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Well,
mean
yeah.
they're a one-hit wonder.
One hit wonder is one song. They are one album wonder.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, okay, I'm not.
I don't
gonna
like-
Get
I don't
into
like Kings of
semantics. Then I don't
That's-
like Kings of Leon either. But
They got
But a lot of
too
people
big too
really like
fast.
them.
Because they had.
Yeah.
Well, they fell off because they got too big too fast and
Yeah.
they got up their own asses. They're like, oh, we're
but
better
they're still
than
kind of
all these other
regarded
bands.
by like people who are kind of behind, musically behind, as like kind of legendary among like people who normally listen to pop.
among stupid people. Yes.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Like I know most people give like Smashing Pumpkins, like or Billy Corgan especially for like being whiny and like his singing style, but Kings of Leon takes the fucking cake.
they do.
Yeah.
I think so.
So whiny. I can't listen to that shit. Like everything else goes away. I can't listen to that. Same with like kind of
Do you think the same
Maroon
thing?
5.
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
Maroon
Like
5's
But they're
first album was
huge.
great.
if you
Songs
actually
About Jane,
listen
Yeah.
it was really good.
I'm not saying that they're bad musicians at all. I just can't listen to that voice, that singing style.
Well, yeah.
No,
I'm
I like it.
over it. But like,
Do it.
fuck, who was I gonna say? Because we were talking about what Smashing Pumpkins and Kings of Leon. Do you think that what happened to Kings of Leon is kind of similar to what happened to? Oh god,
I hate that
song.
It's a one hit wonder. I just pulled up a list of top 30 one hit wonders of the
Chumbawamba.
2010s to 2020.
Oh shit! Wait, but
Yeah.
Mumford and Sons,
Unfortunately, just
they got
Again,
big
that
really
was-
fast.
Yeah, but even then, that was like a whole like album that everyone was obsessed with for a while there.
But that's what I'm saying is Kings of Leon was that album.
Oh, Ellie King.
Oh no, yeah, but I mean like
What song is that?
X's and O's.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Sing it.
that's
that's
Rob Schneider's
daughter.
daughter. Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like
she's
it
too
was-
young to be
Yeah.
considered a one-hit wonder.
What? Has she had another album after that? Because I think that's the telltale sign. Is if you've had multiple projects after your big hit, and nothing else hits, then I think you're officially in it until you get out of it.
Oh, Willow Smith.
But she's not anymore.
She's not. She just came out with that song. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And it's
Wait a minute
huge.
is
Yeah, well, everybody comes out with more songs, but
no, but
it's
Wait a
like-
minute is huge.
It is huge.
Well, it's kind of like saying like, okay, Lorde came out with Royals and then didn't release anything for like 2-3 years, but that's like her art, like artistic thing. But it's all also a matter of public opinion as well, because some people are just diehard fans and listen to everything that she makes out. I'm thinking it's like what comes on the radio.
Yeah.
But when did that Willow Smith song come out?
Like last
It came out this year.
This-
It's been out this year.
Exactly. So this one is from 2010 to 2020.
So all I'm saying is that pick is now obsolete.
And now
It's
it is.
no
yeah.
longer true.
Yeah.
But would you consider 2 songs and then nothing after that? Like, oh, okay, she was like a 1-hit wonder?
No.
Or a 2-hit wonder. Is that even a thing?
No, think of it more
well,
like
no,
Rick Astley.
With a
Never gonna give you
the Rick Roll song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing
More
is,
like that.
I mean, okay, understandably, in
But we
some
can't say
cases,
it's like too young of an artist to really do that.
yeah. Well, I mean, but she has been around for like 7 years.
And I feel like Lord isn't really a one-hit wonder. 'Cause
Well, Lord,
She's not.
There's
No,
a lot of
she's not.
songs on her albums that are
But
nice.
Yeah.
but
She
Willow
has been
Smith
making music.
before Wait a Minute, I would have agreed.
Yeah,
But because Wait a Minute is like a Billboard top hit, it's huge.
it is huge. It's
So
a
I
cool
think it's
song. I like it.
quantifiable by whether the song has hit the top 100.
Hey, if you haven't released another hit song within 10 years, then yeah, we're able to call them a one-hit wonder, I would say. Like,
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
About 10 years.
10 years.
So this is about 10 years, but then, she released some, but I don't know, a lot of these people I don't know on this list, so
yeah,
Watch
that
Me
guy.
Nanny, that's a one-hit
super
wonder,
one-hit.
yeah.
With-
There was that other one.
well, I know Soldier Boy still comes out with like
He does.
new music, but
Well, he
It
had
just never plays on the radio.
Well, he had 2
anymore.
hits, and then the thing with Soldier Boy is that, if you want to go with ones that he's produced a shit ton of hits. He's
well, yeah, that's another thing is that
They
people
put
just
a-
start producing.
yeah, because a lot of people in the back end behind the scenes, they say that Soldier Boy is probably around like with DJ Khaled and DJ Mustard, as far as like
What if-
DJ Mustard
What if
with
Godier
some
is
ketchup.
now just a producer?
Yeah.
perhaps.
No, he just produces something
You know, I
that
always-
you used to know.
I always like I just assumed that he was French for some reason.
Oh, we're all missing like the biggest one-hit wonder in the world, Rebecca Black.
Oh yeah,
Friday.
so
That was awful.
That's terrible.
did he try to do?
Wait, no, didn't
Wait,
she
was-
do
she
Call
tried-
Me Maybe?
No,
No.
Who did that one?
Carly J.
yeah.
Is that
Repson.
has she done anything else?
No,
There's
nothing
another one.
useful. Yeah, that was a good call. She definitely is one.
Please call me.
Maybe.
Not maybe, just call me, please.
Call me,
I need-
maybe.
I
Well,
need
she
more
did
work.
something 3 years after that, and it still has 268 million views.
Wow.
I
So she
mean,
still
never
has
mind.
a fan base.
Oh, she still has
Never mind.
Wow.
a huge fan
My
base.
bad.
yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
But then again, like a lot of these
Should make
people
it a
do
month.
have a fan base, so it's like
Well, they have. I mean, anybody who is a one-hit wonder generally probably has. I mean, JoJo, not Siwa,
So-
but the other JoJo.
Oh, and like
JoJo was cool
mini
when I
vanilla.
was in.
And she
So-
did it. She had a comeback. Fucking Jesse McCartney still that technically has a fucking fan base.
He has a large fan base, which is
Yeah, but he is
So is it
generic, not very good.
I guess
And his
question
he
is-
looks like he has an old man's skin,
yeah.
but that he's Botox to shit. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, how do we determine what's a one-hit wonder outside of making one song and then never being relevant again? Because
Never being like hugely relevant. Like, yeah, you could still have
you have that one song that
a
plays on the
decent career,
radio,
yeah.
and then you get none of your other songs playing.
Like,
Or is it like
because I think sometimes it gets messed up because some artists have songs that overshadow the rest of their career,
yeah, that's
and
true.
then you could think that they were one hit wonder, but they were pretty decent. Like Vanessa Carlton, people might assume was a one hit wonder because that song transcends, because that song is so huge that it's transcended time.
song?
well
It's and
Making my
need
way
you
downtown, walking fast.
But she had a second song.
Well, to be
It's
fair,
only a one-hit wonder.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm saying she's not one, but because that song is so huge,
I feel
in
like
general,
she owes,
in comparison to anything that she could have
she's
done,
made.
it seems like she's a one-hit wonder. But it's because that song is so gigantic.
To be
Yeah.
fair, she wouldn't. That song wouldn't have even gotten that popular without the Wayans brothers helping her out with fucking
That's
White
true.
Chicks.
I don't think so.
That was the best.
But White Chicks came out like 5 years after the song.
I know, but it helped keep it alive. I feel like because
Oh,
it
fair
definitely
enough.
revamped it and kept that song
Yeah.
more so on the
makes sense.
radio.
Maybe for men, but no.
Well, it's funny. Okay,
What?
so
I like the song, and I feel like a lot of women.
No,
like
but I
Well, no, exactly.
I
but
love the
helped,
song.
It helped
I
keep.
love that song.
But I'm trying to say it helped keep it alive
Yeah.
and even stretched it out even longer to help overshadow the rest of her
One
career.
thing that I might say to corroborate that notion is that in the same time frame, Michelle Branch had a song that was probably equally as popular at the time, and because nobody picked it up for anything, it slowly died out.
But then Michelle Branch did have a song that was in like a lot of rom-com music or movies.
That's true, but it wasn't White Chicks, I think. I don't know. You win
feel
or
like-
me?
Well, no.
Say White Chicks is bigger than it is.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong if this is a bad example, but the Killers. We know the Killers,
But
Mr. Brightside.
was in a lot.
But
yeah.
they're like they're at this point like a legacy band.
Are they?
Well, yeah, but that's to us,
yeah.
the younger generations. When they go sing karaoke and Mr. Brightside comes on, that's the only fucking Killer song that they know.
Oh yeah.
So it might seem to them that they're a one-hit wonder,
Oh, yeah,
even
fair
though
enough. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, no, they had so many different fucking great songs, singles at least, and a few good albums in my opinion.
What would you-
And then, like, it's funny because nowadays kids aren't going to know that they were just kind of a ripoff band to Interpol too, and that they just ended
Oh,
up
shit.
catching fire way more.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that true? They just ripped off Interpol?
I don't want to say that. Like, I don't know, but they just sounded very similar,
Very
and just,
heavily
like,
influenced.
But those
But,
two
like,
bands
popular.
that really ripped off Interpol.
Was She Wants Revenge?
Yeah.
Was like that one was like almost blatant. So
Yeah.
I think that's why they never really took off too much.
Yeah. But I always did get slight Interpol vibes from the Killers. But they were more poppy and like
different enough to
Yeah.
where it was all like, okay, well, you could differentiate the songs.
Yeah. Well, I know that some music people would get really annoyed with it. Like, what? You can't just use a monotone voice without being compared to Interpol. Like, doesn't that make Interpol like Joy Division then?
Well, no, if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, yeah, it's like, yeah, then they're just copying Joy Division, or yeah, they're just copying a New Order, or whatever deep monotone kind of voice stylistically you want to go with it. But I mean, people get so nitpicky about certain things like that.
Yeah. But I love fucking Interpol.
I get nitpicky like that when it comes to, you know, all those like quintessential like 90s rock bands. Wanna sound like this.
Yeah, fucking
Pearl Jam, Nickelback.
Look at this graph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
Motherfucking Creed in the house.
Arms wide open.
Well, even then, like, if that's just kind of like, at the end of the day, almost like a softer version of Metallica.
Yeah.
So it's like,
True.
if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, you could just start tying fucking this giant spider web of just vocal styles of different songs and just bands.
Well, and I think that's why I liked Slipknot a lot.
Oh, really?
Because they were like a really like...
I was kind of a pussy back then. I like some of the music because it wasn't as hard as some of the other shit until I was into it later. But initially I was just like, why are they so disturbing?
But that was their thing. Like, they were so disturbing, but then they backed up their disturbingness with good vocals in some of their songs.
But I only
like, they
ended
weren't
up
just
getting-
strictly like...
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was
You know what I mean?
Well, that was kind of what would happen was like, especially in like that in that metal world, like some more purists are like, nah, they're fucking sellouts or whatever because they. Yeah, I fucked with Korn
Dude,
hard.
I fucked with Korn hard too.
I didn't. I disliked Korn for whatever
Really?
reason. Yeah, I don't know why I disliked that.
It was
I'm not in that. What?
Yeah, I hated that song.
that
And it's
just
the
whole
same with
time.
the Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. That band.
Oh yeah.
I hated that band for some
there
Was
reason.
was
that
a lot
Puddle
of-
of Mud or
I can't.
yeah POD.
no?
There's just so many like metal, like new wave metal bands. Like they're the ones that
came
were
up with
actually
that,
kind
yeah.
of good, and then like it started bleeding into like Limp Bizkit and like other
Oh,
like
yeah.
DJ metal.
Yeah.
POD was like it was I feel so alive
Oh yeah.
for the very first time. I can't deny you. They were a Christian band.
That's funny.
That's just about God. Same with like Reliant K and like Under Oath. Like Under Oath, I'm like because Nigel used to listen to Under Oath
of course he did.
a lot because he liked that metal-y sound, but then
He was heavily Christian.
he was really Christian, and then I didn't realize it until later. But they're talking about like giving your heart to God. But the same with Creed, like arms wide open for some
A
Jesus.
lot of people. What is it? A lot of people don't know that U2 actually started out as like a Christian rock band.
I fucking hate U2. If there was one band at number one that I hate in my entire life, it's fucking U2.
You know-
why? Because they're on my iPod and iPhones for the rest of my life forever, and I can't get them
It's
fucking
your
just
on.
so
current phone?
interesting that they created a deal with Apple to make why?
These are big words coming from a man who actually had the exclusive U2 iPod. I remember
That was my
shit.
first fucking mistake.
I remember
I'm gonna
that.
regret that shit for the rest of my life because I cannot get them off my iTunes, and they get every time I plug my phone into my car.
Oh shit! You get
to
that
play.
problem? Ah!
You heard about that problem, right?
Yeah, it would happen on hers.
But mine would play according to you.
Yeah.
Mine's
guys know
on
that song?
It's so
mine's on
annoying.
shuffle. It's like mine's like
you know,
Barbara or whatever. Some fucking I'll play it.
I'll give it to you though.
Look
You
it.
two is better to have than fucking according to you
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Look it.
Oh god.
That's all I hear. Every single time I turn my car on. Barbara, Barbara, and I'm like, oh my
You start
god.
resenting it every time you hear it at the same time.
Well, do you guys know that song? According to you, I'm
It's
stupid,
awful.
I'm ugly, I'm dumb, I'm fugly, I can't. Yeah.
So I downloaded it onto my iTunes when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And even though I've deleted it many times, the cloud just brings it back.
Brings it fucking
Brings it
back.
Yeah.
I think
For
the
this little
only
gem.
way I can delete YouTube off my phone is having enough space on my laptop to download 90 gigs worth of music, and then to hoping that it just phases out.
Wow.
And I can't do that because I would have to delete everything on my laptop because my laptop only holds 100 and some odd gigs,
Fuck.
and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. What was
Well, Red Rain keeps falling down.
it? Down in Africa?
I don't even think that was a U2 song.
No.
No, it was Bloody Sunday. I was thinking of.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's
Is that
Sunday.
you too? Sunday, bloody sun. That's you too. Oh.
Like, don't get me wrong. There's some U2 songs that like, are actually
Let me
really
find
good.
out for you
but
because I
don't-
think I have
don't
all their
care for 'em
fucking
either.
albums.
I like.
Okay.
Or you know what band I really can't stand? I know you really don't like Coldplay.
Oh, I like
I
Coldplay.
love Coldplay.
You know how I know you're gay?
Because your
'Cause you
dick
listen to
tastes like
Coldplay.
shit. What?
Because you listen to Coldplay.
Oh.
Some of the
shit,
songs are really
damn.
romantic.
Yeah, I feel bad for that dude though.
Why?
He was married to Gwyneth Paltrow.
I know.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, Goop. Because she was all yellow.
But no, I actually I just make fun of Coldplay a lot, but no, I like them.
A band that I just can't stand is Train.
Train.
Train. That's
Oh,
the
okay,
name of it, right?
Hey, so
Hey,
this-
hey, hey, so
I did like that song when it
Fuck that.
I like hearing more stories about like what there's that one band that recently came out with a really big song. It was like the I could lift you up.
Oh yeah,
It's like Floating
But there-
Castles or something is the name of the band.
uh,
Or Imagine Drag. No,
no.
Magic Castles. Some bullshit like
Something.
that.
But they used to be
Capital Cities.
jingles.
Yeah, they used to make jingles
Capital
for
Cities.
Oh, Capital Cities, yeah.
They used to make jingles for like McDonald's commercials and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, you know that another band that had a hit, they might be a one-hit wonder, was Foster the People. The main singer was a jingle maker, a successful jingle maker.
Oh, was he?
And he made that song. Yeah.
Pumped Up Kicks. They've had a song since then that have
They've had a few songs, I think.
been on the
really?
radio and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Foster
Yeah,
the
Pumped
People.
Up Kicks, Sit Next to Me,
That's on the
Call It What You Want.
top 10
There's a
list
lot.
of upbeat songs that actually have depressing meanings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our Chronicles of Reddit.
Yeah, welcome back to Oddwood and the next episode of the Chronicles of Reddit with Zachary Grandel, the little Munich boy.
Yes.
Jeez.
I have no balls.
We have been purchased by a German company. So to make our German viewers or listeners sound or feel more at home, we will be using these voices.
That's good, yeah. Guten Tag.
Hyphen das schnell.
Oh, what?
I don't know. I said fast at the end and everything else. I don't know what that fuck. I made it up, maybe.
Oh, okay.
This podcast is brought to you by BMW, Volkswagen, and other expensive German vehicles. Mercedes-Benz. You know, all the companies that made Nazi tanks and gas chambers and all those good things, you know, drive our cars. It's good. It's okay.
German engineering.
Anyway, back to Reddit with Zach.
You guys ready for this one? It's kind of short, but
I feel
it's
bad
Mother
for
Days
Germany
with me.
now. I'm like, people don't forget. All right, sorry.
People don't forget.
Hey, you pick a fight with the world twice. It's okay to make fun of you.
But they're
You
so
got into a
nice
fight
now.
with the world twice, and you almost won. So you know that's another thing. That's a feather in their cap.
Sorry. I know you're trying to hit this, but I just thought of something. Maybe they got filled with so much prejudice and so much hate, and then when everything finally toppled over, and then they rebuilt it, that's why they're so happy and nice now, right? They're pretty high on the happiness index globally. So maybe we're on our way. Hopefully, we don't have to suffer a world war to get there, but maybe we're on our way to the happiness index, that all this hatred is going to flip on its head, and we're going to become happy as fuck all of a sudden.
It's possible.
I don't
but
think-
I doubt it.
A second civil war or a third world war would help anything.
I'm not saying that part. I don't want that.
I want to just flip things on their heads.
I just want everybody's despair and upsetness to turn into happiness.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Well, it's not. Okay. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Reddit. Okay.
Happy Mother's Day.
I, female, feel upset with my husband, male, and what he gave me for Mother's Day.
Oh shit.
This is in terms of relationships. Tomorrow will be my second Mother's Day. Normally, my husband doesn't care for holidays unless he's getting something. So on birthdays, Valentine's Day, etc., he goes out the day of and gets me the first thing he sees. Last year, he gave me 2 Red Bulls and a card from the display in front of a Walmart and didn't even sign it. And I still had to cook, clean, and watch our baby while he played video games. End quote. Today, he sent me to get his mom and grandma gift cards to a chocolate place and then said to just get chocolate for myself too. And I feel annoyed. Not with getting money for a gift, but because it was a gift to brush me off, so I couldn't say he didn't get me anything, and the gift is also attached to a chore. He just had 3 days off in a row and spent every day gone from noon to 4 a.m. with friends. He had time to pick out gifts, but didn't feel like it. So now, not only do I have to drive 40 minutes away to pick up last-minute gifts for his family while I'm up to my eyeballs in tests, I feel like an afterthought, especially after 3 years married. He should know I don't eat chocolate, so telling me to pick out something is irritating. I don't know if my gift is cheap or homemade. I just hate lazy and thoughtless gifts. It makes me feel unappreciated, and I feel like I'm not worth any time or effort. He could have literally just offered to watch our son so I could relax, and I would have loved it. But since he's satisfied gift requirements, he's already made plans to spend tomorrow at a car meet with his friends. And I'm just being ungrateful and overreacting. End of story. That's literally how this person wrote it, but
Sounds like a douche.
sounds like
No.
fucking somebody you shouldn't have married in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Threw the whole damn husband away.
Yeah.
I don't know. So this is what I think. Sometimes I feel like chauvinistic wouldn't be the correct term, but sometimes I feel like us as dudes, sometimes certain complaints get lost because we don't do a lot of these things. So the same way that a lot of women are always generalize that men are predators or pieces of shit or whatever, and then we get annoyed because we don't do that at all. We're not that type. I mean, we've, we'll err on the side of caution, and even if somebody, well, at least for me, even if somebody is pretty overtly interested in me, if it's only noticeable at a 49% level and not at least 50, then I still won't go, because we're just overly cautious in that way. But one, I think it is a discrepancy of love languages with this guy. Maybe they just doesn't have any. He's not doing shit.
He's not doing anything.
Well, one thing is like the love language being like, oh, if you could just some people like gestures and this and that. I don't know the other parts of their life, because some people, how some guys' love languages are usually like, oh, well, my love language is to just provide, right? So if he is providing heavily, then there is technically kind of an argument, but you don't want to let the romance die. The part of why I brought up the whole little thing that I just said at the beginning of this is the video game thing. So you guys play video games a lot, but you guys, well, you not as much anymore, but both of you don't even get close to doing it in a way that would impact a relationship. And I notice, especially nowadays, that is a lot of women's biggest qualm a lot of the times, is that their significant other plays too much video games. And on face value, part of me feels like, why do you want to bother them about what they're doing? Let them do what they want to do. But then when I really think about it, and the reality of it is, it's like, when you don't want to fucking do anything with your significant other, and then they have to make a home around you, I can understand that it gets fucking annoying.
Well, then you send her out as an errand woman
because you don't want to stop playing your video game.
And then you're trying to cover your ass for your mom and grandma, and so you make
and then have her pick up her own shit.
But then don't let her go do something else for Mother's Day. She has to be the one to watch the child on Mother's Day. So.
Because you can play video games and hang out with your friends until 4 a.m.
Well, I don't understand why he had 3 days of being out from 12 to 4 a.m. with his friends. That's kind of nuts. 3 days in a row. And then being like, okay, I'm leaving, bye.
Oh, here's money to go pick up gifts for my mom and grandma, and
for yourself.
Here's a little $5 so you could pick up a Hershey's chocolate bar.
Well, this kind of goes back to my girlfriend actually sent me the meme of it's a pasture, and the reason he said he's like, adult men who play video games are possessed by a retarded spirit. And I just thought that was fucking hilarious. And she thought it was hilarious too, because I always say I'm possessed by dead crazy people. But yeah, at points in time, that's kind of what video games do to dudes. And like what you were saying with love language, her love language was to be the best girlfriend or be the best wife, be the best mom or whatever. And it sounds like she hasn't set the precedence of what she kind of wants. I think if she showed this exact post on Reddit to her husband, it would give him an idea of how she actually feels. And maybe she just, because he's locked in so hard with these video games and his time shit, that she can't actually have a conversation to actually talk about this because she hasn't set that precedence.
Yeah.
And this dude is so oblivious. He's a piece of shit. But
we don't know if he could reform his piece of shittiness.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Because we don't know if he even got the chance. Like, because some people, are just oblivious.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh, if you give somebody an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of keep that going and just kind of let your husband or your significant other walk all over you, it's only going to be more of this happening. You got to let him know, and hopefully there could be some change. But if he's not receptive to it at all, start getting your own credit cards and start grabbing your own stuff, because it's only going to be more of this kind of this bullshit.
Or
I want to bring up
get
the
him
fact,
into couples therapy or something.
I want to bring up the fact that I feel sorry for the fucking kid. Your dad's off for 3 days and he's spending noon to 4 a.m. with his friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fucking kid, like.
It's like, who are you playing these video games with already?
Well,
from probably noon to 4 a.m. or whenever you're not on work.
It sounds like she's doing a lot of the parenting, cooking, cleaning, and the way she made it sound is he's just fucking off when he's not working with video games or going out with friends. I mean, I don't know the situation, but.
I mean, regardless if he's providing or not, I mean, you gotta provide more than just money. You have a relationship to maintain with your wife. You have a relationship to build with your kid.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm sorry.
I mean, in the new day, but like the way that shit used to be, and some of that traditionalism still,
it's still around today.
Exists.
For sure.
Because I mean, I don't know, like, there's not that I would ever bring this into the way that I conduct anything that I would do as a family man at all. But the idea that if you are purely the breadwinner, and then that's how, like, you just want to be able to just chill and do your own. Because that is kind of the old school, where the old school is just like the man brings the money and then he doesn't really have to do anything else. Yeah. Which we know is not a real way to keep a relationship, especially in a social climate where it's not purely about duty anymore. It is about the love part of it.
Yeah.
Because of course that shit works when it's like, oh yeah, I'm keeping up the fucking whole farm. I just need you to make sure the cows are milked and that you put that milk in my meal. You know what I mean? But yeah, nowadays a relationship in itself does take work. So I think us as men, and some or women as well, do need to start understanding the relationship as like a plant that needs at least some watering. Like it is a job in itself that is has its own rewards, but you do have to work at it at least a little bit. And then your partner on that project is obviously going to feel neglected if you don't work on it at all.
Or resentful.
Just to bring this back full circle, I hope that there's an update on this Reddit, and that it's like, update. Just went to couples counseling with my husband. Turns out he's on the spectrum and doesn't know about some of these social cues, and that's why he always does this bullshit. And it's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That would throw a big old curveball right back to the center of this podcast.
Yeah. But if there was an update, with that being said, and he knows now, he has the support from said therapist or the resources and the knowledge to try to work at it.
But something that I will say that happens a lot in situations like this is that one party they'll feel this way and it'll be getting increasingly worse. And rather than expressing the issue up front, they keep mentioning hints or expressing their irritation through other things that are directly irritating, rather than this being the all-encompassing issue, right?
You mean passive aggressively trying to address an issue.
And that's wildly common, right? So they'll be passive aggressive about it. They won't they're not direct about it. And then but in their head, if they're complaining to their girlfriends and then start getting validation, then they start feeling like, oh, well, they're completely in the wrong. I'm okay if I give up on this right away and right now. It's kind of similar to like that movie Marriage Story or whatever. Like, yeah, he fucked up, but she gave up on the marriage way before he did, right? Mm-hmm. But then,
if you want a sad
lost everything.
outlook on marriage, watch that.
Watch that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, or that other, what was that? Revolutionary Road? Oh. That's another one.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
But yeah, in Marriage Story, she really built all this resentment to him for stuff that she chose to give and that he was happy to receive, but she never voiced that how important it was for any of her shit to get done.
Yeah. Until it was too late.
And until it was too late, and then all of it kind of comes in. He's like, you never told me. Like, I would have made... And she's like, I didn't feel like you would have, so that's why I didn't voice it. Like, you made that assumption, and then now you're mad at me off of your assumption. That's not fucking fair. Yeah. And I think that's something that's very fucking common.
Yeah.
Is that they build resentment towards you over a weakness that they weren't able to voice their issue.
Yeah.
And that's not fucking...
And it goes it's vice versa.
Well, yeah, it happens vice versa, but it's very common and typical that whoever the stronger personality is, the weaker personality ends up being like that.
That's what I'm saying. You got to set that precedence and nip that shit in the bud, especially before a kid gets involved.
And if nothing changes, that gives you more time to leave.
Yeah, and that's what gives you that child as leverage.
Okay.
All right.
And that's another terrible thing that ends up happening in those situations.
Well, that's the thing too, is that it's so
end up fucking
crazy.
Up their kids in the process.
It's so crazy that it's still a common mistake that people think that having a child is going to fix their fucking marriage.
No, it's most likely going to
exacerbate things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're adding another human being to an already shitty situation.
Yeah, well, that and like a loud and like boogery human being who needs a lot of maintenance and is kind of annoying, but even though you love it.
And then now you're stuck with somebody for the rest of your life because you have a kid together, and 20 years from now, because you didn't try to even work on your relationship, you still hate each other. But it's like, you're still going to have to drop that kid off to their house.
In some situations,
you're still gonna have to hear
that kid
about
dies, that kid. And then you hate each other even worse. You just blame each other for the death of the kid.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're getting real.
That's very real. Yeah.
Death happens, so think of that before you bring new life into this world with somebody that you're not in the best relationship with, or just be real with yourself in the relationship that you're in. If you know it's not going to work, don't try and have a kid to make it better.
Yeah. So talk to this guy. Let him know.
Talk to him. But don't be afraid to leave if nothing works out in your favor.
But I do actually want to point out that...
and start dating single parents.
What?
Start doing better. If you're a good person and you're single, and you can tell that there's a single parent having a rough time, just be like, you know what? I love you, and I'm going to help support you and that little human being. And then maybe have a Zach along the way. See what I did there?
No.
I'm just trying to say that your dad's cool because he did that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but that was wildly noble. His dad did.
I'm saying like there needs to be more instances like that where
like
people
really
need to kind of
good people.
Well, there
up.
also has to be more instances where people just don't abandon their fucking kids because they want to live their life.
There it is.
Just saying.
Think about it before
Yeah,
you
that
Happy
part's-
Mother's Day.
think about it before you decide not to pull out.
Okay.
Actually think about it. I know it feels great.
No,
I know
that
it feels
fucks up the entire
amazing.
sexual experience.
It feels amazing not pulling out.
No, that
But-
turns you flaccid immediately. What are you talking about?
But think about it. Think
No.
of a baby.
No.
Then just stop.
Okay, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Mother's Day or happy
Alright, I'm
not
done.
Mother's Day.
I'm gonna go.
Wink,
Okay.
wink.
I'm gonna go pretend.
But no,
to
have fun. Have fun on Mother's Day. I hope it's not going to be like that shitty Reddit post. But happy Mother's Day. All moms should be celebrated unless you're that mom that drowns their babies in a bathtub.
All right.
Then you should be condemned and put into a special place in hell.
Mommy jail.
We're talking to you, Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony and the Sundance Kid.
Well, that's our episode for today, guys.
Bye-bye.
Always leaving off on a weird note.
Casey Anthony and the Sundance Kid.
Like, share, and subscribe, people. Peace out.
Oh, shit.